to the Fika Brunch and Business podcast.
Good afternoon.
He was doing his very smooth radio presenter voice.
Good afternoon, everyone listening in on this podcast.
Smooth Radio USA edition. Anyways, yeah, welcome back. It's good to be back. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've been keeping it quite consistent.
I don't feel like we can pat ourselves on the back yet. We've done 2. This is
our third.
Yeah. True.
Solid effort.
How many times is it that people say you build a habit from?
I don't know. I think it's like 70.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty high number.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll just keep going.
It's definitely not 3.
I thought we had it nailed. Mm-hmm. We'll just keep going. Yeah, so, again, we've had a busy week. It's been just like, even this afternoon, just been a hub of activity in here, hasn't it? Yeah. All things going on.
It has. I love to see it like that.
Yeah.
I love to see Fika like that.
What we've been doing today, tell the fans.
Well, so...
It's been an exciting day. I feel like today's been the kind of day that, I suppose technically, we were all working today, but it didn't feel like work. It was a very... And you get
Although Rowan's looking there like he's about to pass out.
I was like, yeah, definitely. Yeah, what were we doing today, Evo?
So at around 7:30 in the morning, I arrived at Fika. We had a quick little clear out of our backyard at Stamford. It was quite a quick one, wasn't it?
It was actually, yeah, we nailed that.
And then we headed to Fika Oakham.
Tell us, why are we clearing out the backyard, Evo?
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah. So we were clearing out the backyard because we are creating some outdoor seating in at the back of our Stamford cafe, which is going to look really nice.
Unexciting. We're creating.
Yeah, I didn't phrase it. It's been a long day. You know what? It's 7:00. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
How would you phrase it? Go on.
Creating an outdoor experience.
We're revolutionising
casual dining.
So we're revamping the outside area in Stamford, which I feel like is looking, now that it's painted.
Yeah.
And
it's
got
there was some greens.
Yeah, the plants haven't been planted yet.
Yeah.
But just seeing the greens, the broccoli, seeing the greenery out there looks really good.
Yeah, really good.
And I think you've got some good ideas of how to. You're always going for like a little...
Don't put this all on me. If it doesn't look good, then it's him.
I want to say you're always going for like a little Moroccan theme out there. Moroccan
I'm not sure I would just
inspired.
pinpoint it to Moroccan. I'm going for a colourful, funky theme out there. There's going to be a lot of... Do you know what? I think...
Where did you get the inspiration from that?
A few different places. Do you remember ages ago I said to you, I'd really like to do something that's not constrained at all by what... like Fika's interior and vibe is currently.
Yes. Yeah.
And I kind of thought with that space, because it's not in the cafe and you can't really see it.
Yeah. You can do what you want with
it. You can almost do what you want and get a bit like creative and funky, and it won't affect the rest of the cafe vibe or interior or anything like that.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then when Sophie went to that cool place in Oxford.
Yes.
Do you remember she sent a picture?
Casimir.
Yes, that's the one.
Nice.
And that was really like cool and different. And you said, "Oh, I'd love to do something really cool like that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do you know what? This is a great opportunity to do something small scale that doesn't affect our operation.
A little taster.
Yeah, and just see what we come up with."
Yeah, nice.
So, and then one of my friends has. This is so rogue that I'm basing it around this item, but it's. I feel like
is it the cushions?
No, the parasol.
Oh, the parasol.
One of my friends has this amazing parasol that I saw, like she showed us like months ago. And when we were thinking about what to do with the outside area, I was like, oh, I'll order this cool rug, these cool fairy lights, whatever. And then I thought, oh my gosh, the parasol. We need a parasol like that in the outside area. So we're going to have... Yeah, so it's all just going to be really colourful and funky and nice.
Yeah.
And we've just been getting it sorted and painted. You'll remember the cameo on the last podcast of Tom who was painting the outside. It's now been finished.
Yeah.
And lovely Liz, who does all our planting and gardening, that kind of thing. She just dropped off some amazing plants for the outside. So that's all happening like in the next week or so.
Yeah.
Week, 2 weeks.
It's taking very nice shape.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it looks
Yeah,
like.
me too.
I'm ready to get it done. I've got to build the sofas. That's basically my job.
And then hopefully we'll still catch a couple of weeks of summer and warmer weather where people will be sitting outside kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So what else did we do today after that?
So we cleared that space out, ready for all of that to go along. And then we hopped in the car.
Oh my God. Could you get any cringier?
We hopped in the Ferrari.
Disclaimer, that's not true.
It is it's a Redabath, but it moves like a Ferrari. I guarantee it. We went to Oakham. We had a little bit of breakfast there.
Yeah.
We
quick
met
content meeting.
We met our main man Rowan there. We had a little discussion about what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
And then we went to Nottingham in the Ferrari again.
In the Fiat 500 that Evo likes to claim.
I'm leaving. It's a Ferrari.
Just getting ousted.
Mm-hmm. And so in Nottingham, the plan for the day was we were going to do a tour of our roastery. It's not ours.
I keep saying our roastery. It's not ours.
It's a tour of the roastery that supplies our beans, our coffee beans. Stewarts of Trent Bridge.
Yeah. Great
You might
guys.
have seen it on our packaging for our coffee already.
Great guys. Love them.
But yeah, we wanted to go down there, get some content, have them talk us through the process of how they roast the coffee, like the different types of roasts that they do, where the beans come from, all of that, basically start to finish of like the roasting
and
process.
because we've been using Stewarts of Trent Bridge since the start.
Yeah.
Really. So we have quite a good, close relationship with them. They've always been really accommodating of us. We kind of do, like, we use a roast of their coffee that very few other customers of theirs use.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like they know that Fika always has the Papua New Guinea, and it's quite a different roast, and they're just really cool guys. And it's nice to use someone who you have a personal relationship with, and that we can just go down to the roastery and like see how everything's done, and they'll take the time out of their day to talk us through everything and show us stuff. And
it doesn't feel like they're just a supplier.
No, definitely
always feels
not.
like they're on some level a partner.
Yeah.
In what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's probably
for sure.
one of the most important elements of what we do.
Exactly. And they have a great coffee shop attached to their roastery as well. So we went there and had a little coffee, a little chat with Mark, who he's kind of our main guy over at Stewart's. And it was just really cool. I'm not going to give too much away because it will come up in a video soon. Yeah. But it was really cool. It was amazing to see like all the processes and be talked through everything, and just the whole area there. So it's in Sneinton Market in Nottingham. Anyone who knows Nottingham probably knows Sneinton Market. Mm-hmm. It's just a cool area that's. Would you say it's still up and coming? Still, or has it upped and come yet? Or
No, I would say so. There seems to be a lot of businesses like moving still to the area.
It's still not like fully developed, is it?
They're definitely still creating a community within the area.
Yeah.
Seems really cool.
Yeah, I agree. So it's just a cool up and coming area. There's loads of other cool businesses like Stewarts of Trent Bridge and Blend. Like there's a really cool plant shop, some cool vintage shops, some like textile shops, a street art shop, just stuff you don't really see on the high street or in the more mainstream areas. Mm-hmm. So I always feel like going somewhere like that gets the creative juices flowing a little bit. I don't know whether
gets us a little bit out of the day to day as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what do we do after we hopped in the Ferrari to Stewart's?
We arrived at Stewart's in the Ferrari, and then we had a little coffee there from their coffee shop Blend, and then we met Mark. He showed us round a little bit of Sneinton Market, and talked us through like basically what's been happening since they arrived there. One thing I didn't know is that they're quite not an old business, but like a long-standing business.
I didn't know that.
I thought they were like quite a recent development, but so he talked about like how they came from, was it some industrial It's warehouse somewhere.
Near Trent Bridge, yeah.
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 And I guess that's why they're stewards of Trent Bridge.
Yeah.
And then they moved over to Snenton, and then he showed us round the roastery and we met the head roaster there.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool hat. You'll see it.
Yeah. The hat was great.
The hat was great.
I feel like I want one of those hats.
Yeah, I think we need to get one.
Yeah.
We need to get a few.
I think it was a hat made from. It's like
the bags of coffee.
Bags of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we need to get on that, and that'll be staff uniform.
Yes.
Just everyone has to wear one
Oh,
of
that
those
would be
hats.
quite a cool staff uniform.
That and
actually, wouldn't it?
dungarees.
Yeah.
We would look sick.
Right, can you get on that?
Let me just write that down.
And then he talked us through basically a whole roast. It probably takes about, like 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was something
from
like
start
that.
to finish. And he basically talked us through all of it.
Yeah.
It's quite a scientific process.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like you're looking at lots of graphs and profiles, and you're
Don't
adding
you
gas
almost
and
think,
air.
how did someone figure out how to roast coffee? But I suppose it's like with everything, you did this first, and how did they figure out, you roast it for this long, and then you cool it down for this long, and then you put this much carbon dioxide into
Also,
it.
they've had so much time to test. Rosie, when was it that the first goat herder discovered coffee?
What year was it?
I don't know, 15 AD or something.
Oh wow!
So it was a long time ago.
It was a hot minute.
I think we should Google it because I don't know. I don't know if.
Go on, but there needs to be a quick Google, Evo, not like your
I'm
Mildred's Google. do you know what? I feel like we need to do a public apology to anyone.
Oh, it's an Ethiopian legend. I don't even know if it's true, Rosie. Or maybe.
Legends aren't
Yeah.
necessarily true.
Oh yeah, 15th century. I think.
Wowee. That's
not 15 AD.
Coffee cultivation and trade began on the Arabian Peninsula. By the 15th century, coffee was being grown in the Yemeni district of Arabia.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sports fans.
So they've had a lot of years. They've had 500 years to figure out all these things. They probably weren't adding
Using
this much.
graphs.
Yeah, they probably weren't. They didn't have that many technical things. But I feel like it's probably really developed over the last
definitely
20, 30 years.
Yeah, and then we went to their other site, Blend's other site, which was again really cool to see.
Yeah.
And we just walked around Nottingham for a bit, saw the other cafes, saw what everyone's doing, saw some great coffee machines.
Went for lunch.
Which
was my highlight of the day.
I hope everyone's got some footage of Evo. Anyone who knows Evo on a personal level knows that Evo is just...
See you later.
Bye, Rosie. Evo is just obsessed with food.
Yeah.
I feel like, Evo, all you do is talk about food.
I don't just talk about it, I eat it.
Evo also has, what a weird thing to say.
Right, it's
weird flex, but okay.
I just eat food.
I bet you don't do this. No, but you don't just talk about food. I feel like you get this real panic and concern if it's been more than 2 hours since your last meal.
What?
You're not quite sure when the next one's going to be. I feel like you start to talk about it in a really urgent manner.
It's not good. The girls that will have one iced latte a day and that's their meal for the day.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone does that. I have to eat probably every 3 hours. Otherwise it's
So I think within 2 hours, Evo had mentioned the word lunch.
I'm just cautious. It's 1:00. We've not made a plan yet. It's going to get, before you know it, it's going to be 3:00. We'll be walking into places. They'll say we're shut. And then we'll have to settle for a Tesco meal deal. I'm not having it.
Did that happen though?
It didn't happen. No, we actually
You took matters into your own hands.
I did. Actually, I didn't. Someone else found the burger.
Yeah,
place we
true.
went to.
We had a burger, guys.
It was
on a school
banging.
day.
How would you rate your burger out of 10?
Oh, a solid 8 out of 10. What would you rate yours?
I would also go an 8. I would go an 8.5, but I feel because I got the one without any salad, the salad being onions and gherkins, I feel like they would have made a big difference.
Yeah.
You got the same one as me.
But I got it with salad.
Yeah. I would have gone 8.5 with the onions and gherkins.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, back to relevant topics.
You just it keeps shooting me down.
So, yeah, we've had a good day today, and it's just all around been. And then we came here, there was some barista training going on from head barista Rosie. There was some, Liz was bringing the plants in and all the compost for tomorrow.
A hub of activity.
Rowan was setting up the new microphones. How have we not mentioned this?
Oh, yeah.
We've got a real professional setup now.
The Yeti Blues. The Yeti Blues.
Blue to match Fika colours, always. Smooth operator USA edition is back. Yeah, so it's been great. Been a great time recently.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're a bit over just doing updates for everyone. I think a 5-10 minute update at the start of the podcast is always good.
Yeah.
I always like to know what people have been up to.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about something else.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about hospitality as an industry.
Yeah.
And what hospitality used to be, which is not necessarily a topic we know loads about.
Yeah.
And I did actually, listening to the last podcast, that I said something and I was like, I need to do a disclaimer that most of the time I don't know what I'm talking about. And I say things as fact that I do not mean.
You just open your mouth and things come out.
Yeah, and I did think someone's going to come for me one of these days and be like, you are chatting shit. So take everything we say with a pinch of salt.
My words are very thought through on the other hand.
Not true.
Everything I say has a clear purpose.
So how the hospitality industry has just changed over the years. And especially, I think I've seen a real difference in the hospitality industry in the last 2 to 3 years.
Really?
I think
2 to
so.
3, that recent?
Yeah, I think so.
So basically as long as we've owned Fika.
Yeah. Maybe a bit longer. Maybe 4 years. Because I think we took Fika on at a time where that really started to become more apparent that the industry was changing and the people who worked in the industry were changing, and it just became more of an interesting industry. I think it's a very underrated industry.
Highly
Always
underrated.
has been.
Great entertainment.
Great.
All day long.
Not for that reason, but also it's like an industry that everyone relies on hugely.
Yeah.
You want to go, if you go on holiday, for example, you are relying from start to finish on the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
Like your hotel.
Or the
your
equivalent
meals,
of Tesco meal deals.
Yeah. Yeah. But you don't really think about that. You just expect it.
Yeah.
And all the people that work in the hospitality industry, I think, very often are taken for granted.
Yeah.
And not really given much credit.
Mm-hmm.
Same as, like delivery drivers and everything like that. And there's been real talk about that recently. But I really think that is a big talking point.
Yeah.
And a big... I've seen a big shift in people's attitudes towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of people who want to work in restaurants and cafes and all of that. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to my next point.
Yes. No, I think you're right. I do think, especially the point about the people that work in hospitality, highly underrated.
Yeah.
I don't think we get it so much at Fika, but there are places where you can go where it is probably quite tough to be a staff member, to have people like raising their tone at you all day.
I think somewhere like a bar is probably really tough.
Yeah, and people being
to have
drunk.
People shout at you all day and definitely.
It does. It definitely does build a level of resilience.
I agree.
I would say
resilience and not knowledge, but you get a little bit of a sense of how to deal with people and personalities better,
because you interact with so many
different kinds of people in different ways. How to read people better. Exactly.
Do you know what? When
someone
walks through the door these days, there's like certain times when I'm like, I know exactly what this interaction is going to be like.
Definitely.
Just from like...
And what other industry, I'm sure there are some, but what other industry do you, in a day, interact with probably how many people would you say on a busy shift?
On an average day, if I'm behind the
in
till,
here?
like you're probably meeting, what, like probably two... Like,
200-300 people at least. There are so few other industries where you would meet that many people in a single day.
Yeah.
And times that by a week. Of course, there'll be some crossover. Like, not every single person will be a new person. Mm-hmm. But that is an insane number of people to interact with.
Yeah.
And that is always going to teach you something. It's always going to teach you something about people and something about communication. And I think, like, even for me, like, from experience and from my... like journey from when I started at Fika versus where I am now, I think it's really built my confidence with people. I feel like I probably wouldn't have been comfortable talking to like a crowd of people, not a crowd, like I'm not talking public speaking, but say like going into a crowd of people I didn't really know. Say if I was going with you somewhere, and it was all your friends and I didn't really know them that well or had only met them a couple of times, it probably wouldn't really make me nervous nowadays.
Yeah.
Just because I kind of think my communication is a lot better and I can talk to people a lot better. Yeah. Whereas 3-4 years ago, I would have been a lot more nervous about that and would have been like, oh, what do I talk about? Like, what do I say?
Yeah.
All of that.
Do you know what? That is a great point because one of the turning points... One of the turning points in my career, I don't know if you know this story, but when I was in second year of uni, I'd never had a job until that point. I was a bit of a...
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I got my first job when I was 14, guys.
Yeah, because you were spending money like there's no tomorrow.
Nothing's changed.
I was always a big saver.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah. So I got my first job when I was like, you know what, it's actually time to earn some money in my second year of uni. And I would say I was quite introverted before that. I would say I'm still introverted.
Do you think?
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, maybe when you're with people you don't really know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in my second year, I got a job at like a pizza place, and I'd say I was quite like quiet at the start. Like didn't really know how to. I was a bit nervous, even like going up to like take someone's order or give them their drinks or like clear their plates or whatever. But by the end of that year, I had to apply for a placement for like, because I was doing engineering and in the third year you do like an engineering placement. Yeah. And I would say having that job is what got me through the interview. I think I would have been terrible at the interview had I not worked at that pizza place. Just because I got comfortable with a lot of interactions and the interview was then just another interaction.
Isn't that crazy? Because no one talks about that. No one talks about the people skills that hospitality
You do see it on CVs, like, this has helped me gain confidence.
I'm really good at working in a team and all of that.
It's always very conceptual.
Yes.
But like that's like a genuine real example of how it worked out.
I agree.
To me.
Yeah, so I've seen a really different crowd working in hospitality, and particularly also that's maybe not fair to say, but I would say particularly cafes and restaurants.
I think it's being seen as less of a job.
Yes.
Now, is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily. I don't think so.
No?
I think it's still being seen as a job, but it's also being seen as a creative outlet.
Yes.
Like something, okay, here we go. Prime example. Baristas. I think only recently have they become, creatives or seen as creatives and artistic people.
Yeah.
And people like doing an amazing coffee and latte art is an art now. Whereas I don't think...
That's quite new. It didn't
is quite new.
Exist.
No, exactly. And I think that...
And even nowadays, like 98% of coffee shops that you go into aren't going to give you any latte art.
No.
It's still not
exactly. It's become one of the artisan trades. Yeah. Definitely. So it started to attract it. I also think it attracts more creative people because there's a lot of people that, want to do their own clothing brand or jewelry brand or things like that perhaps don't have the means to just do that, or like they're just getting it off the ground and need something else part-time to keep them sustained until their business is completely off the ground and they can just live off that. So that brings, I think, a lot of people in, but then that's really cool because with those creative types of people, you also get really good input into your brand. And again, I don't think...
Prime example of that.
Here we go.
Do you remember when we put that gantry up?
Yes.
And we were like, oh, it looks horrible.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Cry.
Get it out the window. Take it down. And then Lucy, who works
Shout
at
out to
Fika,
Lucy.
very creative, loves some plants and some fairy lights.
Yeah.
And you just basically said to her, like, make it nice.
I gave her complete free range. She was like, do you want this? I was like, I do not know what I want.
Here is my card.
Here is my
card. Go to whatever shop you need to go to.
I don't
whatever
care.
you need to get.
Spend whatever you need to spend.
Yeah.
Make that look nice.
And
now
it does look really nice. It's a real feature of the cafe.
It is.
I think.
That is such a good example from you.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. There we go. Brought that back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and why do you think that has... where do you think the shift happened? And when do you think the shift happened?
I don't know exactly when it happened, but I feel like it's a broader thing that's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
I think it's to do with people not wanting just a job that pays the bills anymore.
Yeah.
I think, especially after
Everything's
COVID,
become less about money.
Yes.
I have found.
I think so as well. I think people are like, what's the point?
Exactly. There's people I don't think are as interested in having a job that pays you super well, but that also makes you miserable. There are actually, I know nowadays very few people who would choose a job like that over a job that pays less, but
whereas before it was almost the
life.
norm. Like, you do something, you don't necessarily have to like it,
and you just accept that that's your life for 10 years, so you can make
or
loads
even
of money.
or even until you retire.
Yeah.
But like, just make sure you earn enough money and like save enough of it, so that you can live your best life from 65 onwards.
Yeah. Do you think COVID was?
I think
a
it was.
catalyst
I think
in that?
it was. It was definitely happening before COVID.
Yeah.
But
probably
I do
sped
think
things up.
COVID was a catalyst.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah, I think so. Because people just, all of a sudden, these jobs that were keeping people busy 24/7, a lot of them weren't really happening anymore, or were happening from home, and there wasn't the office culture, or...
And people had time to think as well.
Yeah, reflect.
Yeah.
And think about, probably evaluate what's important to them.
Yeah.
Everything like that. And I do think there's been, how many people have started their own, like, food trucks after COVID? Like chefs who used to work. I mean, this is a bit into the hospitality industry, but still, like, chefs who used to work ungodly hours.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
Take no holiday ever, never see their family.
Yeah.
Work all night and be back in work early the next morning. Then during COVID, well, I don't want to do this anymore. Started their own food trucks, or their own food businesses.
We've had chefs apply as well that, like...
don't want to do the pub hours anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No. And are willing to... Because obviously we can't pay as much as a pub where they're working 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like, our hours are different. But they're willing to take that cut for a job that they enjoy a little bit more.
And for a bit more balance in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? Do you think that shift is going to carry on happening? Like, what do you think the direction is from here?
I think when I think about me personally, and I see this in the world as well, I can't see myself ever physically being able to do anything just for the money.
No.
Like, if you said to me,
I agree.
right now, I'll pay you £1 million to do X for a year, but X was something that I hated, I'd really, really struggle to do it.
I agree.
For a year.
I agree.
And I think once you found something that you kind of like and that you enjoy doing, I think it's very difficult to go back to something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Even if there's bigger financial motivator.
And where do you think something like this shift in this industry, where do you think that leaves companies like Starbucks and Costa and Nero?
Where it is more a bit automatic and more like a job. I think they're going to be the ones that start to struggle to find staff. Yeah, I think not yet, but I think maybe in 10, 15 years time, I don't see why anyone would, unless, I think those will be the jobs for anyone that is really struggling to find a job, but it's never going to be, I can see there being people that work at Fika for the rest of their lives, and not in a because they can't be bothered to do anything else kind of way, but more in a like they come and they grow with us and they move into different positions. Yeah. I can see that happening. Yeah. Whereas I think when you get a job at Starbucks, a lot of people get it because they want something to pay the bills, not because it's
their true passion and they fit in with the brand.
No. So I think those brands will really struggle to find people that want, like, I think you're already seeing it a little bit already. I think everywhere, a lot of places in hospitality are struggling. Yeah. From what I hear from other people, but I would say we've been okay. Yeah. Would you say? I think we've definitely struggled a little bit as well, but I wouldn't say it's been as bad as some of the other stories.
Some of the horror stories you hear.
Yeah.
Definitely. And also, on a lighter note, hospitality is just the best industry to be in. Yeah. There is no industry quite as entertaining. As we were discussing, what did we say earlier? About it today. You could go to the pub with 10 other people who you don't know, who all work in a cafe, and just have the greatest time dissecting that day or any like particular events that have happened, or just entertaining moments in your day. And I just don't think you get that. No. Yeah, you can't go and do the same thing with 10 office workers who all work in different offices. And I mean, you probably could to some extent. Yeah. But I just think, and I also think it's a very, do you remember that time we were sat with other people from Fika plus some other people that had never worked in hospitality, and we were just like, everything we were saying, all of us were just laughing, and they were kind of sat there like, we don't get it. It's not funny. There's a real, like, what's the word? Camaraderie in hospitality. Yeah. Everyone gets it. Everyone's in the same boat. Yeah. And you always know, if a customer's being a dick, you'll always know the other customer who has worked in hospitality, because they'll give you a little look like, it's okay, it's not you. Yeah. It's not you, it's them.
I'm sorry about
Yeah. And they're always like, thanks, that's going to keep me going.
Yeah. You can always tell someone that's worked in hospitality versus someone that you haven't.
Yeah. So moral of the story, hospitality, 10 out of 10.
Just highly underrated.
So just as a little side note, Fika is hiring at the moment. Joking.
Are we hiring at the moment?
Yeah, we are hiring, but that was just like...
Lightly. We're lightly hiring.
As opposed to heavily hiring.
We could be aggressively hiring.
We could be aggressively hiring, but we're not aggressively hiring.
Lightly hiring.
We just, want to grow the Fika fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have more creatives, more cool people. Yeah. More vibes, more activities.
Vibes.
Cut that bit out. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I think that's a good
place to leave it. Wow, we're just so in sync.
Do you have any questions or comments for us, or anything interesting, or do you just want to go to bed?
So you obviously, we really enjoyed going out and seeing all the different coffee shops today, and seeing Snenton Market and stuff. Mm-hmm. Where would you see, if there was another place aside from the three that are currently existing here and in the works at the moment, where do you see Fika, or what kind of place do you see Fika fitting into, aside from?
I'll let you take this one, because I feel like I know what you would say for this one.
Well, it's a tricky one, because we've already said, like, we're probably not going to do any more Fikas. So my initial response would be, probably wouldn't be a Fika. But I don't think that it wouldn't fit in. at all. I think something like this in Nottingham would definitely work.
I think it could fit really well. Like, especially
Really well.
to answer your question, in an area that's creative, that's doing something different, areas like Hockley and Sneinton Market,
Yeah.
where you have lots of different creative things going on, I think Fika would fit in really well
Yeah,
in a place like that.
I agree.
But it also doesn't have to be a Fika. It
Yeah.
can also be something.
Agreed. And I'd
something
also,
else.
I would do any kind of operation, like whether it's like this, like a full-scale brunch restaurant with a fully operational kitchen and a chef and baristas and waiters. But I'd also do a takeaway operation with like an amazing counter full of like savoury croissants and no kitchen on site and just amazing coffee and pastries and croissants and that kind of thing. Or like not even a juice bar, but somewhere that does like great acai bowls or something like that. That is something actually that is so lacking in
everywhere.
the UK.
Yeah.
Like I know we only have like 2 months of summer, but I would have an acai bowl 100% every day for breakfast from somewhere. I know most people are going to be like, why don't you just do it yourselves? There are reasons.
Why don't we? What was the reason?
What was the reason? It's just a little bit too hard to do and do it really well, I think. For
I think you would
permanent
need to
menu
almost
item.
specialise a little bit.
Yeah, because you need
that.
a really good blender. The
Pacific
timing needs
blender.
to be good.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing like 4 fries and an abo with poached eggs for a table and an
Yeah.
acai bowl,
Yeah.
you need to, you know, which the chefs are amazing at doing anyways.
Yeah.
It just comes with a
We
few...
did trial it,
Yeah.
didn't we? How did that work out? I
It
actually
did
wasn't-
work. It did work. Just it's just hard to nail it every time. I think consistency is also one thing that's like, if we're gonna do an acai bowl, just like if we're gonna do a Fika's avo, it needs to be incredible. It needs to be like the best avo that people have had, and people do quite often say like our Fika's avo is the best. And I just don't really want to do an acai bowl that I'm not 100% sure is going to be the best acai bowl
mediocre
every time.
acai bowl, yeah.
Exactly. And I just think with like timing, space constraints, and you know, it just logistically in the kitchens wouldn't work great. But I would definitely like to do something like that.
Yeah.
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 Trademark that.
And maybe one day Fika bread bakery.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
One day coming to a location near
We
you.
saw a really cool bakery. Well, when I say really cool, I was really geeky about it.
I do like it as well.
It was just, the setup was exactly what I want. And it was a great size. It had all the equipment you need in there. It looked efficient.
Yeah, and you also, like, you have that... you saw the 2 girls in there
Yeah.
with their aprons on. They've got, like, flour all over their aprons.
And I can just imagine, like, having some, like, great tunes in there, vibes,
Yeah.
writing on the whiteboard what needs doing, like, timers going off. You're getting caught lacking on your bread oven. But then you've
Yeah.
also got that up.
See, why would you
vibes.
go work in Starbucks when you can do that?
Facts. Mic drop. End of the podcast.
I'm not going to read it.
Don't do that.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping they've recorded this out. I'm hoping it's all good.
Right, I think that's a good point to leave it.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Well done.
Week 3, only 67 to go till we build the habit.
We will get there one way or another.
We'll be back soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye everyone.
See you later.